One, two, one, two. 1, 2, 1, 2. My dog is bigger than him.
I need claps. Yes. See, that's like the key. That's how you know the show is beginning.
Yeah,
when you hear the
buddy.
claps. You know, you get it started, son.
Straight from the beginning.
Welcome to Bar Talk Radio, where we discuss all that is hip hop. I am your host, Joy, aka Miss Joy in the City. We have a double entendre sitting with us today.
Oh,
I had to do the Jay-Z. So I'm sitting here with our videographer who also has an ear to the streets. He definitely knows his hip hop. So he's sitting in with me today to chop it up a little bit. You know, my man Jay Fat. Larry's not here today. We miss you, Larry, but we understand you got work to do. Work.
Gotta stay gifted, baby.
Gotta stay gifted. Apparel NYC.
Gotta stay gifted.
So Fats is sitting there with me today. You're gonna hold, as you say, hold it down.
Gonna hold it down.
And as always, we like to thank, of course, our dope DJ Can Do NYC. We waving. It's so funny. We waving. What we waving at? We waving at the wall.
Ooh,
From the
DJ
window to the wall. To the wall. So the cameras are. You said the cameras are not broken. It looks like the cameras are not broken.
Nah, we are
just trying something different. We're trying
different.
some new stuff. You know, do you like the sound of our voice?
It's like a variety pack. You know how you go to the supermarket, you get the chips. They got like
a
Doritos.
variety pack.
They got Doritos cheese.
Oh, then you got the sun chips.
Yeah, so we had Bar Talk.
I like sun chips. I like Doritos. I like cool. You like Cool Ranch or you like regular?
I like the Cool Ranch is cool.
But the regular is what it is, right?
You gotta have some Listerine strips after the Cool Ranch.
You gotta have Listerine strips after Doritos. Period. Let's keep it real 100.
That's true too.
So
that is true.
Well, first we want to start off the show by saying, oh my God, we lost a legend today.
Yeah.
I can't even believe it. I thought that it was a lie when I saw it in our group chat.
Yeah, it were.
And then I went on Google, and they were like, oh, you know, it's not confirmed. There was a body found at Paisley Park. Everybody know Prince lives at Paisley Park.
Yeah, they said in his elevator.
In his elevator.
Sheesh.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Son went out in the elevator. First of all, Prince, I'm a huge Prince fan.
Yeah,
this is like a loss. Like Purple Rain is one of my favorite movies. Actually, I own Purple Rain.
Purple Rain.
The DVD. I almost said the DVR. Sorry, the DVD. I own it. Like first of all, that soundtrack
was phenomenal.
Phenomenal. The Beautiful Ones,
yeah.
Darling Nikki, of course, Purple Rain. Take me with you. I can't remember the name of the song.
I think, was that the one he performed when his manager was like, I told you to stop bringing your personal stuff out?
Oh, that was Darling Nikki. I knew this girl named Nikki. I guess you could say she was a sex fiend.
Spazzed on the stage.
Spaz. Sorry, I spit on Fats by accident. I was like, spaz. So mad Shorty ran out of. Shorty ran out. She ran out. But you know what's a real interesting thing? You know, Vanity died 2 months ago at the age of 57 too.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That's interesting. So they up there kicking it right now. I can't believe it. Prince is gone.
Yeah, everybody's passed.
Oh my
away,
gosh,
man.
R.I.P. Prince. He's like a musical icon. So we're gonna have a few seconds of silence for the late great.
Yeah.
The late great Purple One.
Cool.
R.I.P. Prince. Did you do the noise? Come on, seriously.
He heard it. He was like,
sorry.
My dog.
No, but do you remember that episode of the Chappelle Show? Shirts versus the blouses.
Game blouse.
After
the game,
oh
he made
man, I believe it, and he made his man. Yo, I believe that Prince can play some ball. Don't get it twisted. He was 5'2", but I heard he could play some ball.
And like, you know what's mad funny? Because I used to do that. Like, I played basketball, and I used to do that on court when he was like, computer blue. He was like, what is that?
Oh shit! I'm done with you.
That's serious. Yeah, I think so, and I think he can make good pancakes too.
I was, according to Charlie Murphy, but R.I.P. to the late great.
R.I.P. man.
I swear I've been listening to Prince all day.
He just,
all day.
Oh man, what's the name of his new album? I forgot his new album, but I was just listening to because it's 2 parts of that, and
you can only find. I was so happy to have Tidal today. I mean, aside from Money and Violence.
He has there was a song on there. Oh my God, it's I forgot the name of the song, but it's like really good. Like it's 2 parts to it, and it's like a really dope like compilation of his latest greatest work. So you know, if you could find it, just look it up. And,
look it up on Tidal.
You know,
Jay has all his music. You can't find his music anywhere else except Tidal. Okay. All right, they got
But
the
that's
catalog.
that. Yo, listen.
No, that's G. That's a G move. That's a G move.
He
That's a G
basically.
move. I mean,
set
I'm looking
the
like that's a
standard.
G move.
He basically set the standards, and even like today, like what I was reading some stuff that's going on, and this guy was talking about how that he helped him deal with sexuality.
Who?
The guy that just came out openly gay.
Okay, I'm like drawing a blank. I don't know, for some reason this week I
Hold
haven't.
up. I was just reading it, and it was like it's crazy because
And
like,
he helped Prince help him out with his sexuality.
Yeah, he helped him come out like just to come out into the world, to let people know and how to deal with it and stuff like that. So which is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So you know he's very influential, and his style was crazy. Like everybody look at Prince, and when you see Prince,
He's the sexiest, androgynous. It don't even matter. Like everybody wanted to get with Prince. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Everybody that came to his encounter is just like when he did that award show when he was on Oprah. Even Oprah was in awe.
Of course, it's Prince.
You know what I mean?
Hello, and it's just so sad. Like Michael's gone, Whitney's gone, Prince is gone.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy. So R.I.P. to Prince.
Yeah. Condolences to his family.
Absolutely, and
everything.
condolences to.
Frank
Oh,
Ocean.
wow. Okay.
That's
okay.
his name. Yeah, Frank
Okay,
Ocean.
I was like openly gay. No, Frank
Yeah,
Ocean been out gay.
Yeah,
though,
but you know,
for a
I
minute.
guess.
But I get what you're saying. He was comfortable with being able to do it because Prince. No, Prince wasn't gay, but he just it didn't matter.
Yeah,
it didn't matter.
He had like a GQ swag to him where it was just like even Young Thug based his style on Prince.
I wish you could see my face.
What, Young Thug?
We don't have a camera.
But yeah.
Young Thug based his.
Yeah, he said it on Sway in the morning. He said it on Sway. He was like, you know, I want to like I base my style on Prince. Like Prince was an OG and his swag was different. He didn't care what nobody said about him. So like people think like me wearing dresses and dressing different and stuff like that is weird, but you know, look at Prince and you know, I mean Prince was weird. Come on, he's doing performances with his cheeks out.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Cheeks. So, as we like to the R.I.P. to Prince, of course.
Yeah.
To the late great legend. And as always, we like to get started with Today in Hip Hop History. So today is April 21st, 2016.
Yep.
And today, Beastie Boys actually released their third studio album, Check Your Head, in 1992.
Dope.
Damn, their third album was in 92, kid? That's how you know. I mean, License to Ill came out in 88, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that sounds about right. In the hip hop standpoint, every few years you should put out a new record. So,
Might as well.
Also today in hip hop history, in 2014, this is interesting. Big Sean became the first rapper to ever perform at the White House. Now, there have been a ton of rappers and hip hop artists that have been invited to the White House.
Yeah.
But Eazy-E didn't perform.
Not easy.
When he hung out with Reagan.
No.
And Jay-Z didn't perform when he hung out with Obama.
Yeah.
So Big Sean is actually the very first hip hop artist to perform at the White House, and that happened during the they always have the Easter egg thing joint that goes on every year. So he performed with his then girlfriend Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that relationship.
Yeah, none of our business is a show about hip hop, not relationships. Good luck with that. And that is that. So that is actually going to conclude today in hip hop history. Today wasn't the most eventful thing that ever happened today was the fact that Prince passed away today. So
yeah, exactly.
But also this week in hip hop was really interesting. DJ Quick has some choice words to say about Kanye West's music this week. Basically in a roundabout way telling him to make some real music.
Well, if it's coming from an OG like Quick, you need to listen.
Touche, because DJ Quick has been around for a minute. He is OG, especially on the West Coast.
Yeah. So,
what do you think about his comment?
I mean, it basically touched. It's gonna touch home. So you know, you have to look at it in two ways. You can actually look at it maybe he's trying to diss you, or you know, maybe you have to look at it as a way of redefining yourself.
Because Kanye, I've actually listened to The Life of Pablo, and it's an interesting album.
It's interesting.
I mean,
but
Famous
it's
is
all
probably Famous is a good song. It's catchy as fuck.
Yeah.
But he got a song called "I Love Kanye." Yeah, Kanye.
But yeah, all right.
Which is actually. All I'm saying is maybe DJ Quick has a point. He's just saying just make some real music. I'm not sitting here to give a mic rating for The Source.
Yeah.
The Source. Hint, The Source. But I think that Kanye might be wrapped up in
Himself.
a lot of things that are not
Himself.
musically
No.
helping him,
No.
and it's being reflected in the music. So that's just my opinion.
It is. It is.
What you think?
I listened to that album, and the only part that I like to listen to is the whole Panda remix, which is
Panda,
not. That's it.
Panda.
Like I try. Well,
Bros
I mean,
in the lip.
the
And
I
that song
Love
is taking over the
Kanye-
world, son.
The I Love
Tough
Kanye.
Land the world security. Wait,
I listened to that.
Fucked it. I fucked the line up. Sorry, go ahead. Tough flight in the world. No, forget it. I fucked it up. Tough flight security of the world, Craig. Sorry. Tough flight security of the world, Craig. Of the world. Okay, see, I had to get
Like I listened to it. And it's not really like it doesn't catch my ear. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it seems like there's something missing. You know. Oh, and I like the joint with him and what's his name? The track that he put out with Kendrick Lamar. No parties in LA.
Yes.
Because
Oh no, no parties in LA is
Because he's
actually
actually
kind of
spit. Because there's an actual line where he says, you know, people never thought that Kanye would spit like this. He was like, tell you people that the writing block's over. Like, you know, writer's block is over. Now I thought he was gonna go in, but that's like the last song on the album. You know what I'm saying? Where he actually really went in. Other than that, it sounds like what else is out there. You know, and
he's not making any strides or doing anything.
Yeah, we know Kanye
different.
for being different. We know him for being different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like
So
everything else.
it sounds like he's being like his 808 Heartbreak was a great album and very slept on, but it was a creative.
It was very
album.
creative.
It also came from a heartbreak.
Exactly, and
that's where a lot of good music comes from.
It broke musical barriers.
See,
You know
look,
what I
a
mean?
broken heart. Look at you, yay.
Well, most music comes better from a broken heart. Because I think even Nas' album,
After he broke up with Khalees, Life is Good.
Life is Good.
Where he got the, it looked like her
album.
actual. I don't think
That
was
was
her green wedding
That
dress.
was her dress.
Because I remember I read the
said-
story when she left him. She moved everything out
That
and
was the
left
only
nothing
thing
but
she
the
left.
green dress, the
And
wedding dress.
that was
So
the
I
dress.
think, well, first of all, it was a great album. Life is
Yeah.
Good is a great album. It came out in 2012, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And the cover of him with the wedding dress. Needless to say, yes, it was a good album that came from heartbreak.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I might have to agree
And
with you on that one.
he actually loved that girl, man.
Yes, he married
You know what
her.
I'm saying? So it's like,
Like there has to be some sort of love. He married her. He
True
married
G's
her.
out there ain't afraid to let you know, like, yo, listen, I was feeling shorty. Like, listen.
I was feeling shorty. Not only was I feeling shorty, I
was
married
with-
her.
I tattooed
But I
her on my arm.
loved him and Khalees together.
Yeah.
I loved him and
Yeah.
Khalees together. I swear.
It was a really good relationship. You know what I'm saying? was
I
a
think
really
it made
good
him a better
relationship.
person and gave us some good music. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank
Yep.
you very much. So I remember you mentioned something quickly about being cool like that.
Oh yeah,
I'm chill like that. I flow like that. I roll
saying
like that.
They saying that the Diggable Planets is supposed to be launching a reunion tour, and it said to that one act so far that's gonna be down with the whole thing is My People's Camp Low. You know what I'm saying?
This is it. What? Lucini falling from the sky. Let's get
so,
rich.
you know,
What? That is my
and
shit.
people that don't know who the Diggable Planets is consisted of Butterfly, Ladybug, Mecca, and Doodlebug.
Doodlebug. That shit.
And
You ain't naming me
their
Doodlebug.
most
The known
renowned
record was
record.
Cool Like That. The
Rebirth
black and
of-
white video.
yeah,
the birth
Rebirth of Slick.
Is it the rebirth of Slick?
Rebirth of Slick.
Because
You know
I'm
what
cool
saying?
like that. I chill like that.
And it was really good.
Flow like
It was good.
that.
And you can actually,
Roll
they
like
was
that.
actually featured in other people's videos. Like you could catch them. Matter of fact, Flavor in Your Ear. You see, they had like
Make
a
your
little
hands
cameo.
tap.
They had a little cameo and stuff like that. So you know that's one thing that's happening right now.
I'm
in
curious.
hip-hop.
I would go see Diggable Planets in Camp Low.
Oh, definitely.
So wait, so side note, Missy Elliott and
Oh.
Bruno Mars in the studio.
Missy Elliott.
Could we
and
expect
Bruno
some new
Mars.
music from Missy Elliott?
Yeah.
Love me some Missy Elliott.
That's gonna be.
And she's
super
also
dope.
a pioneer as
course.
far as doing different shit.
Yep.
Like she's not a part of the whole sex sells thing. She's
Nah.
and I hate the word gimmick because Missy is not a gimmick. She's authentically herself, and I think that's why we appreciate her music.
I think Missy Elliott was like slept on when she first came out.
I disagree. Missy Elliott was one of the biggest stars
No,
when she came
when
out.
she first came
I
out,
can't stand her rain.
But nobody like
It's my
gravitated to that
window.
until after a while. Because actually, to tell you the truth, her first feature was on that remix with Puff Daddy when she was dancing when she first did the he ha.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
Check it that you do.
Yeah.
But can't you see like total kissing
You know
you?
what I'm
Got
saying?
Gina running for the border.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hit
that
me on
was-
my car phone. Oh
That was her first
shit.
feature, and like people were like, all right. So then when she came
That was
out
my
with
shit too.
I
The
Can't Stand the
things
Rain,
you do
it was. But then after that, it was
makes
just like,
me keep
oh, that was Total
running to
before
you.
Total.
No, that was Gina Thompson.
Gina Thompson.
Yeah, because
Okay,
she
okay.
said, "Can't you see?" Like Total, but the name of it
Yeah.
was Gina Thompson. The things you do. That was my shit.
So you know,
Hit
but-
me on my car phone. Sorry.
she's very influential.
Yes,
very
I'd have to
influential.
agree. I'd have to agree. I'd
very
have to
influential.
agree. I'd have to agree on that. I know she had a new single. Does she have a new record coming out? Or
I don't know. I know
she's
dropped
she's working with
Yeah.
Bruno Mars, which is hip hop and a little R&B, a little bit of everything.
Now they was just pictured. They didn't say nothing about like anything coming out, whatever. But they was just pictured inside the studio. So hopefully we could get something out of that. You know,
All right,
because
well, we'll see.
that'd be deaf. Because you know, hey,
That'd
man,
be
listen.
dope. That'd be dope. Some new Missy Elliott. Cause I like the
Crazy.
where you come from? And that song was everywhere too. But it was the single, and then she got on social media and it blew up. That's how you know you the shit. When you can get on social media in these day and times and everybody's like, oh shit, Missy's on. Like Halle Berry got an Instagram. That has nothing to do with hip hop. Look, that has nothing to do with hip hop. Halle Berry got an Instagram, son.
Halle Berry got an Instagram.
Yeah, I'm at you.
What? Oh.
Halle Berry. No, Halle Berry.
The crazy lady Halle Berry.
You know what?
She's crazy.
She fun as hell still. All right.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do right now, that concludes today in hip hop and today in hip hop history. We're gonna take a quick can do break, and when we come back, we're gonna have Kim Osorio with us on the line.
Right.
Former editor in chief of The Source,
That's
hip hop
right.
journalist, all around dopeness. So we'll be back.
Stay tuned. We at the Binna.
We at the Binna.
True.
Remix.
All my diamonds shine, 'cause they really diamonds. Bad bitches in line, they be really trying. They ask me if I'm high, I say really, really. Got money on my mind, I say really, really. I look like I've been ballin', 'cause I'm really ballin'. I wanna apologize, I'm not really sorry. They ask me if I'm lying, I say really, really. I'm really on my mind, I say really, really.
Rhymes galore, rhymes galore, rhymes galore, rhymes galore, rhymes galore, rhymes galore, rhymes galore. Just for the motherfuckers out there on some real hip hop shit. Yeah. Mayday, 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 mayday. Walk barefoot on niggas like Kunta Kinte.
What you say?
What did you do when you walking this way? I burn you like I'm smoking a chalice with Elder Sensei. I be he's out in fashion like Marvin Cannon. Yes, I keep it slamming. Shit just be banging just like a loose cannon. Wow! You better park niggas. I spark niggas like shark niggas. I stay up ripping shit apart. Niggas float over water like Noah's Ark. Niggas cover your face and don't get caught up in the scene when it get dark. Niggas, excuse me, missus. Sure to hit you with the fitness. Give you niggas the sickest. Jumping Jehovah Witness. Beaming in on niggas plotting and scheming and steady dreaming on how they gon' do they double.
This is Joy, the host of the show. How are you?
Oh, hi. Am I calling straight in now?
Yes, we call. Yeah, you are live on Bar Talk Radio.
What's happening?
The red light, the light is on. We have, oh my goodness, this is like a major thing for me. We have Kim Osorio on the line. Journalist, writer, author, TV personality, media executive, of course, former editor-in-chief of The Source. Thank you so much. We appreciate you calling in tonight.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that intro.
I've been a fan of yours for a while. Like, you were the person that made me want to actually write about hip hop. Like, so
Wow.
I'm serious. This is huge. Trust me. So this is like major for me. So I just want to start off with talking about your new show, which is Dose of Reality on BET, correct?
Oh my God, you're following.
Listen, isn't that what a good journalist
Dose of
does?
Reality- Yes, Dose of Reality is an online show for BET.com that we actually launched last year, like the end of 2015. But this past March, we sort of rolled it out. So it's something something we're gonna do periodically. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And hopefully we'll get the talent in
Yes.
because I know a lot of reality stars have stories that they want to share about their experience. So yeah, that's definitely something that I've been working on.
Oh, I can imagine they have some good stories too, and you know how to pull the good stuff out of them.
I try. I try. You know, it's different. It's different doing interviews these days when you're on camera. When
Okay.
the camera light goes on, all of a sudden everybody gets quiet. It's like, But when we used to do interviews back in the day, you know, with a little tape recorder, or not even, or just with a notebook,
Mm-hmm.
you get people to open up a lot more, especially because you're spending more time with them.
Right.
You know, these interviews are hard. You gotta have some skill. You gotta be able to come in and really try to get what you gotta get
Mm-hmm.
in such a short amount of time.
Understood. Understood. Well, speaking of reality shows, I know that you were also on a show with Sharon Carpenter, Angela Yee, Jazz Fly, The Gossip Game. How did you become a How did you become a part of that show? Did Mona Scott come to you? How did that work?
You know, it's funny. I actually was on the show before it became a Mona Scott show.
Oh wow!
That's dope.
Wow!
That's dope. That's dope.
A couple of old friends of mine who are also, they were also executive producers on the show, came to me and they told me they had a concept and that they wanted me to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love the concept of just having, you know, seeing women who are working in the industry as opposed to women who are just sort of like staying in the industry. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When we
Right.
talk about our careers. And so I was down for the show. It was Angela was definitely somebody that was on the cast early on. I remember it was me, Angela, and who was the other? Oh my God, 2013. I'm
Oh,
thinking
Sharon
like,
Carpenter.
and this was something. It aired in 2013, but
Right.
I think that they brought the idea like 2012. So
Oh wow. Okay, so it was
you
in the
know,
making for a
and that
while.
was actually a really quick turnaround time to get a show on air because I'm working on a lot of different shows now, and it takes a while before you get that green light.
True.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So after doing that,
And
oh sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, excuse me, that I remember when did that? So when the show got to the attention of VH1 and
Mm-hmm.
hip hop was doing phenomenally,
Mm-hmm.
and then they brought Mona on, and that's when I think it really began to take off.
Oh wow. Are you still friends with Mona?
Yes.
Good. No, I'm just question being nosy. No. Do you think that?
Y'all ready to dig? Y'all ready to dig?
No, what? No, we listen. Come on now. No. So, do you think that blogging and social media?
I
Sorry.
work with Mona on a lot of things as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you ready to speak about that, or is that under wraps?
Well, when you work, it's funny. Sometimes it's under wraps, but when you work on certain projects, particularly like in reality show realm, you have to sign confidentiality agreements, and you can speak about
Understood.
what you do. So yeah, I've written a few shows, and I've worked as a supervising producer on some of the reunion shows. So I've done a few different things with her and with other networks as well. But that is a lot different because you're not really, as soon as you get in the door, you get that paper like, okay, you can't talk about any of this.
Right.
You're not really free to talk about what goes on behind the scenes.
Wow. Okay. So, do you think that blogging and social media has changed the face of hip hop journalism, being that you've been a part of it since the genesis, basically, of hip hop journalism, being a part of the source?
Wow, that's such a big statement. I'm like, have I really been a part of it? I remember reading, you know what I mean, about hip hop, and when I was coming up. So I feel like I was part of like a second generation. There were so many people who came before me, and really laid the foundation for what we do. But when you talk about social media and whether it has changed hip hop journalism, I mean, I think, yeah, the answer is it definitely has, but it's not exclusive to hip hop. Like, it's changed the world.
Very true. Very true.
Relationships between people, like it's changed our interaction, our daily interaction. It's changed the workplace in any industry, you go to. So has it changed hip hop journalism? Absolutely.
Mhm.
You know, it just you're reporting stories basically on social media first. That's where things are breaking. You know, so it's got there's a different way that you have to cover things because you know, like if you're going to do an article
Mhm.
and post it online, you know what I mean, and do a lot of research and do a bunch of interviews. By the time you put that article up, you're late.
Right.
You know
Well,
True.
what I'm
kind of.
saying? Everything that you've already done has been leaked and put out there or blogged about or tweeted or Instagrammed or something. So
Right.
it's really about finding a new approach to doing your story.
Well, that's very true because you made a point in your book, Straight from the Source, after Jam Master Jay passed away, that you wanted to be the first hip hop publication to actually be able to have them on the cover. And unfortunately, things got changed at the last minute. So I completely understand exactly what you're saying now. It's more in real time as far as news breaking.
Yes, that was, I remember, if I remember correctly, the Jam at the J cover, it was something that we already had a cover in place. And remember when we were working back then on these issues, we were 3 months ahead.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just
yeah.
to think about that now in terms of magazines who are, I mean, you really don't see the hip hop magazines like that. And when you do, they're collectors issues. You
Yes.
know, it's not
Right.
about being timely or current because there's really no way for them to compete. But I remember with that particular issue, it was already almost done,
Mhm.
and then he was murdered, and that was to me such a big story in hip hop. It's like
Absolutely.
we
Yeah.
have to, let's shake this up and let's turn things around and let's put him on the cover. So I believe that only went to subscribers because it was too late
Yeah.
to do a cover. I can't remember,
Well, that's what
what the
that's what it said in the
particular.
book. You wanted to push for it so bad, but it went to the subscribers because there was already a cover. But I remember that stuck out to me. There are quite a few things that stuck out from Straight from the Source. I'm definitely going to get into that. But as when you, during you being editor in chief, how did you overcome not only being a part of a male dominated magazine, but also like being in a male dominated industry?
So I don't know if I overcame it. When I think about my time there
Right.
and the struggles that
Mhm.
I had just being, one of very few women who worked there,
Mhm.
and very few women that was actually in a position of power like that. I think that I had to deal with a lot of things personally
Mhm.
because I don't think I was as secure, um, in my own skin and gender, to be able to be that proud to be a woman. I always felt like, back then, you know, I felt like I was made to feel less than because I was a woman. I was the first woman, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
an editor in chief, right? But it's like that was magnified so much,
Mhm.
and so it's hard to live up to something like that. And you're always sort of struggling with being comfortable about your femininity when you know you're in a very male dominated space.
Mhm.
I think that's something we continue to deal with as women in the workplace.
Mhm.
So it's something I deal with every day. I think that the older you get, the more comfortable you get
Mhm.
with understanding who you are and what your place is and what your strengths are, and really learning how to use that and apply it to your profession and what you do, and just in life in general.
Okay. Understood. So was it difficult for you to still love hip hop in the face of misogyny?
I think so. I think that I've always I grew up in hip hop. I grew up in the Bronx. I grew up around hip hop. I was just telling someone the other day. I was like, wow, we used to have breakdance Fridays in the gym.
True.
In my
True.
elementary school,
Right.
which it's like kind of when you think back, like y'all have breakdance Fridays in the gym. It's so odd, but that's how big hip hop culture was just in my neighborhood. I grew up in Capitol Hill.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, everything was hip hop, right? So it's sort of like I grew up so much in the culture that I could never move away from it. But I think in the industry and just going through the experience that I had within the hip hop industry, when I came out of the source and the lawsuit and all of that,
Mhm.
I did feel, like a little bit distant from it. And then, not being in that position at the source anymore, you're treated differently, right? Like
Right.
you really start to see who your friends are. The people that stuck around or the people who were just there because maybe they thought you could do something for them.
For them, right.
And so, and that's a weird place to be in as well. Like when you're looking around and now all of a sudden people don't answer your phone calls. It's like we were best friends last week.
Right. So now when I'm
And now
calling
when
you,
you start
right.
to get certain people on the phone, you start to really sort of realize, how important relationships are just in the industry.
Mhm.
And I think it helps you focus just on a lot of different things. And it helps me, I think, to really figure out what I wanted my next move to be.
Mhm.
Oh,
I always applied hip hop to that, but I really started to diversify my skill set. I didn't want to just be the hip hop writer at that point. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Understood.
well, while you was going through all this, did you ever stop to think, like, would it be different if you was a man? Like when you look at everything that was around you and how you felt your first day working at the source and everything, did you ever stop and think like, I don't think I'll be going through this if I was a man?
Well, that was something I thought about a lot because there were so many different times where it was clear that if I was a man, I wouldn't have been treated that way.
Mhm.
You know? So, I mean, that was a constant theme that I carried throughout, my years there at the source. Constantly reminded, that I would be treated
Okay,
differently as a guy.
facts. That is true. That is true. So, what would you say your first day at the source was like?
I didn't hear you. What did you say?
What would you say your first day at the source was like? Like you fresh,
Walking into the building.
this your first time there. You getting introduced to everybody and stuff like that. Like, what was your thoughts?
Well, I came on as a writer first, right? So there was,
Mhm.
I would say, like the first time I walked in the building as a writer, not really like was hired there to work full time, but as a writer, I thought it was, it was the pinnacle of hip hop journalism of where I wanted to be. So to just go in the door, and I remember at the time the office was like, was really like the red logo, the black leather couches. Like it just felt when you walked through the door, it just felt very hip hop.
Mhm.
The way that it was set up. It felt like I had made it in a sense because now I was walking through the office. I knew the editors. They were calling me to write or do interviews on certain artists. Um, so there was a sense of accomplishment going in the door because it was as you sort of make your way on the industry, you start to meet people when you begin as a writer.
Mhm.
When someone hands you when you meet someone and back then at least, and they hand you their business card and it's the source, that's like, oh my god,
The
like
pinnacle of everything. It's like,
that.
oh my gosh, it's the source. Right.
Let me follow up. Let me do my due diligence and make
Mhm.
sure I continue to
True.
keep this relationship because
True. True.
this is what I want to write for.
Right.
True. True.
Right. So as we sit here, I'm sipping on our sweet bitch wine. Thank you. That is our sponsor. I'm curious to know how you feel about the word bitch.
Uh-oh, I didn't hear you. Just
Oh,
a little bit, like you guys are far away almost.
oh, sorry.
So I didn't hear you.
What are your feelings about the word bitch?
The word bitch. Somebody, I gotta tell you a funny story because I was somewhere today in a meeting and it got really loose and a guy told a girl, he called her a bitch. And but he didn't say it like you bitch or whatever. He said it loosely, like he didn't realize, kind of rolled off his tongue so easily, but he didn't mean to call her a bitch. It was like, y'all bitches be, it was much physical.
Oh, what? And then
And she just gave him a look, and she, what you mean, bitch? And
did
then everyone just sort of started laughing because it was
a Queen Latifah line?
yeah.
Who you
And
calling a
then
bitch?
and then someone was like, yeah, what you gonna say that means? Blah intelligent, like trying to come up with a little acronym, like a word with,
As we normally do.
everybody just started laughing because it just, he really didn't mean to call her a bitch, but it just so easily slid off of his tongue
Mhm.
because it's become a word that I think means so many different things to so many people, right? Some people are like, oh, it's a powerful word. Oh,
Mhm.
if they call you a bitch, it's because you handle your business. I don't know if it affects me as my, I would prefer for someone not to call me a bitch.
Right.
I don't do that. I'm always going to be offended by it,
Mhm.
but I know that it has become such a part of the language that now it sort of gets unfortunately thrown around there, out just randomly. People just like use it,
Mhm.
and then it's like, oh, well, it's okay if it's my girl and she says like, bitch, what? It's like okay, I guess. I really
The
don't.
context of it changes
I'm
it.
very careful with how I treat the people I care about, so
Mhm.
I don't do that to them, and I don't want anyone to do it to me.
Mhm.
But that being said, I understand that it's become, common in a lot of conversations with people. So,
And sort of a term of endearment in a way.
it,
And no, not in a good way, but it is. It's a way of
yeah.
addressing others. So okay, I appreciate your opinion on that. So straight from the source, which was your expose on your time at the source, it was really unfiltered, and I really respect that. Do you wish that you would have left certain things out, or do you wish there were certain things that you would have added to it?
Oh, so I absolutely left certain things out.
Spell it. We want to know. No, of course I don't. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It will be another book one day.
Oh,
That book was, there was a very clear story
Mhm.
in that book, and I felt like the things that I said in the book, I said because they all played a very big part in the narrative that I was trying to tell.
Mhm.
So I chose to put things in there because I felt like it was so essential to the getting to the end,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
Was I open and honest? Yes, but I've always been very open and honest. I think the only time I wasn't open and honest about even relationships that I had had in the past was because I felt so threatened at my job. I
Right.
felt like I wasn't allowed to do certain things, like because of that job, and
Mhm.
that's why those were things that I had to keep secret from people because, oh my God, I would lose my job if anyone ever found out, which is really, if you think about it, it's such a double standard to
Absolutely.
not be able
Absolutely.
to, talk freely about things the way that the guys had done it at that time because, you think you're going to get fired. Like,
Mhm.
men don't do that,
Right.
Yeah, that's true
you
too.
know?
And you were
Yeah, that's
also
true.
very candid about your personal relationships in the book. Did you ever worry about being judged once the book was released?
I think that I knew I was going to be judged.
Mhm.
I knew I was going to be judged, but, um, people are very judgy. I don't think, I do have tough skin,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
I had tougher skin probably back then because I was on some, I don't care what anybody says.
I mean, you had you, the editor in chief of the Hip Hop Bible.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
you was
Now,
fighting for
oh my
respect,
God,
so we can understand that.
what do my kids think? But back then, I was like, I don't really care what people are saying. This is my truth.
Mhm.
Like, I don't have anything to hide, and I shouldn't be ashamed of anything that I did. If you make mistakes in your past, you make them so that you can learn from them and move on. So
Right.
I never felt like, oh, they're going to judge me. I think that the problem came because, and unfortunately, there were a lot of women who were telling their stories, and those stories had talked about relationships. But those, sometimes the women, that was really what their story was.
Right.
But that wasn't what my story was. My story was something completely just
Mhm.
different. It just so happened that along the way, this happened.
Right. It made it
Yeah.
juicy because I was reading it. I was like,
And
ooh. It definitely made it a great read. But I do understand what you're saying. That's not what you wrote it for. You wrote it to tell the full story about what was happening to you while you were working there.
right, right.
Okay. Well, I also love that every chapter is the name of a hip hop song. I think that was pretty genius. So, do you have?
Oh, thank you. I did, and then I saw it in a couple books after me, and I was like, damn, you
They
know
stole my idea.
what?
No, no, but I noticed that because when you start reading, it's like, oh, the first boom, the beginning, South Bronx. Oh, she's from the Bronx. I get it, and I'm from the Bronx as well. So I was like, oh, yeah, this is dope. And then when I started reading it, and then the next chapter, I was like, wait, these are hip hop songs. Like these are names. This is so genius right now for it to be about the source. And oh, I noticed. I'm a hip hop head. I absolutely love it. So I'm curious, what is your favorite hip hop song?
Whenever I get this song, I change my answer. So I don't know if I could actually say it. I have a favorite hip hop song. Every single time I get this question, I change my answer.
Okay, but what is it today? We're curious today.
Today, oh my God, I've been listening to Paid in Full. The album, like, for the
Okay.
past couple of weeks.
Okay,
I
okay.
get into these moods where I'm like, I like certain, periods of time, and I just want to go back there and I just listen. I've been listening to that, and I've been listening to Wu-Tang, which I always listen to Wu-Tang, but
Wow.
so I would say you could pick pretty much anything off of, Wu-Tang's first album or the Paid in Full album.
Wow. Do you have a favorite era of hip hop? Are you biased? I understand you're probably biased, but I'm curious, what is your favorite era of hip hop?
It is like, I'm going to say, there's 2 years that I love. I love like 1994 and I love 1988.
Wow.
Those are my two. Yeah, those are my two. Everything that came out.
Yeah.
That
Because,
time.
yeah,
So
94 was a big year.
Between that time. Yeah. And that was also before I got in the industry too. So I think that says a lot.
Right, because you began working for The Source in 2000, and then you became the editor-in-chief in 2003, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the 90s, in 94, well, actually in 93, I started interning while I was in college, and I did certain internships at different record labels. And then from there, I worked for a music software company, and then from there, and I was writing for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I started freelancing for different publications. So I sort of got in the mix around 93.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The industry mix. Before that, I was in college, but I really started to meet people in the industry who had similar goals. In getting to the industry and getting through and succeeding and doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like my exposure. Where I really started to diversify my network of people, like coming out of the Bronx and then meeting people, across the tri-state area who all had aspirations to be within the industry.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow. And I had a question too, and it just, when you're listening to someone and you're getting engulfed in everything that they're saying, it's like, oh wait, oh no, I did have another question. So what is your opinion on today's hip hop?
Well, I like some of it, and I tend to, I like a lot of it actually. Like I'll hear it, I'll listen to some of it. It might take a minute for more than just a song that'll get me to listen to someone's full album. Like that's a lot. Sometimes even my kids, like they gravitate towards certain music, and sometimes that music is hip hop, and I'm like, wow, this must be really popular. But I like it. I think it speaks to the generation coming up. It's not necessarily for me. I've always been big on beat. And so I think, I do gravitate towards a lot of the ratchet music that comes out because I like beats and it gets all this airplay and, so I can blast it in my car. But, it's not really for me.
Okay.
So I can appreciate it.
Right.
But, yeah, unless Jay-Z's gonna put an album out tomorrow.
Woo! Sorry. No. We're like, woo!
And he's gonna, even though sometimes when I hear the more recent stuff, I'm like, really, Jay? But if he puts out an album or someone that's from my era,
right,
music, then I'm like all here because I want to hear what they have to say. I'm thinking that they're talking about issues that I care about, A
Right.
lot of times, like the younger artists, who I mean, I like some of them. Like I really like J. Cole, you
Yes.
know. So I like a lot of the new stuff that comes out, but I don't study it like that.
Understood.
Okay, I can understand. You spoke about before about how you was telling somebody that you used to have breakdance contests in the gym. To me, the Source Awards is kind of has that authenticity. So back when you had the Source Awards, what separated y'all from all the other awards that used to be televised?
The so back then, hip hop wasn't as mainstream as it is now.
Right.
So there were only a few artists that were getting that play on those major award shows, right? You have to really be crossover or really be big. But with the Source Awards, it was like everybody within hip hop was there, and
True.
that opinion of the source is what matters. So they
Right.
get, even the Mike rating in the magazine, like,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone, that was, it was the critical acclaim of like, I want five, everybody wanted five mics. You know how many phone calls I used to get like, so I got this five mic album, I want five mics.
Right.
Everyone had that same pitch of like, this is a five mic album, and like, once you came and told me it was a five mic album, I was like, it's not a five mic album. Five mic album, like, then it's like, like, it's already like, they didn't even know that they were creating that doubt amongst that just by doing that. And I mean, maybe once or twice they were like, wow, this sounds like a five mic album. Um, but like that sort of stamp for winning Source Awards, like,
Right.
that was credible.
Right. Very
Yeah.
extremely,
True,
extremely.
true.
Because if an album got
All
five
about
mics,
credibility.
right. If you had a five mic album, that we knew that meant it was a classic in the hip hop world. That's it was just deemed an automatic classic if you got five mics, and it was very serious too for artists. Like what, like I can as an artist, I can only imagine that would be your goal to make sure that you got a five mic album rating from the source like that.
It was that, a classic. It was really. I'm trying to think of what these days sort of makes someone's music
Five mics.
gives it that sort of feel, right? Like I don't know that there is anything these days because there's no magazine that anyone cares about what they say.
Right.
With regard, and that's not to take away from any magazines that are still thriving and doing their things or any websites, but you really can't use that as a barometer anymore, right? Like I guess artists are now because they're so directly connected to social media. I feel like other artists and people who are trusted, like individuals, maybe certain bloggers, like putting their stamp of approval, hold more weight than some of the media sites that are out now. There's no site or anything that I feel like gives an album or an artist that or holds that much weight.
Right, that much power as far as right.
They take
Maybe I'm missing it, but I'm like nobody cares. Like I don't care about what any magazine or do magazines still even exist?
They do. I mean,
Yeah.
they exist, but I think I probably stopped buying magazines a while ago. I mean, I have a collection of the source as well as Double XL, but I stopped buying magazines a long time ago.
I mean,
So.
I see them at the supermarket when I go shopping, but
No, but not.
what am I really gonna get in a magazine? Like
But
there's nothing, like unless it's like fashion driven.
mm-hmm.
But for music, for hip hop, I don't think that it holds that same sort of weight that it used to.
I absolutely agree. Do you have a favorite cover or story from when you were the editor-in-chief of The Source?
This is another question that I'm a Gemini, so I can't. Another question people ask me, what's your favorite interview? I'm like, I would change it. I would say something else. KRS-One, that's not my interview, KRS-One. What is my favorite cover? So I'm going to have to say it's the Rockefeller cover.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
See, I'm changing it again because I Rockefeller cover with the Rockefeller crew with
Mm-hmm.
the Empire State in the back,
Yes.
background. It was 1 year after the Twin Towers
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
came down, and so
Mm-hmm.
we did the Empire State, and I liked that. It was just raw. It was straight. It was like Rockefeller. Sometimes I like the fancy ones for like actually when I went back to the store.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I went back in
Yes, in
2012.
2012. That was actually my next question.
Yeah, when I went back, I remember doing the 2 Chainz cover and really loving that one. So
Okay.
he had like the fox around him,
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the
Yes.
dead fox. I love that. So yeah,
And how
that
what?
one I know from my second era. I love that one. But from my first,
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would have to be that classic like Rockefeller. And then we did so many. We did Rockefeller. We did Murder Inc. right after. And it
Yes,
was
I remember
just
that.
the timing of what it was and the impact that the
Mm-hmm.
image had was great.
So how was that for you going back to the source in 2012?
Going back, it was great. It was good because it was a different time. I was going back under different circumstances, and it was
Right.
almost like coming home because I didn't leave gracefully. Like I didn't get a party. You leave the office and put all of your effort into something. You work somewhere for so long, and then you leave, and everybody says, "Hey," and
We'll
there's
miss you. Right.
That's not how I left.
Right.
I left. I got a phone call. I got fired over the phone, and then I never went back. So all my stuff, plaques, CDs, memorabilia that I had, that I was one day gonna be like, this would be a great hip hop museum. I remember I used to keep certain artist things. It was all left up there. And
Wow.
Oh, that's dope.
not only my stuff, but other people's stuff is in a storage somewhere that someone has the key to, but nobody, like, I know who has it, but it's like at this point you can't really go back and be like, I want my stuff.
Right. Yeah, it's a little, maybe a little past that
Yeah,
at this point.
Yeah, there were things that were left behind.
Wow.
So when I went back in 2012, and obviously it was a different office, so none of my stuff was there. But I went back, and it was like, okay, now I'm going to sort of be vindicated because I'm back.
Exactly. Right.
Okay. So, do you think that hip hop today has lost the authentic culture it used to have back when it first started? Like, as far as originality and as far as like how labels used to actually build artists.
I do, but I don't want to sound like a bitter old lady. So I do feel like originality is lost. I do feel like, it's a different game now, and, it's so much easier to just kind of come out, be famous, and, you don't have the artist development that we used to have back then. But then I also don't want to take anything away from some of the, more creative artists that have broken through, in this day and age and are really talented and are doing their things. Like, again, because I know it's not for me, but I think there is something missing. Like, there's definitely, no artist development. It's just straight to, like, you cut a record or you do something on social media, and that's, like, how you get on.
Right.
It's not even, like, putting in the work anymore. So I think what it does is create an environment where, certain people don't make money. And it's like a new system to break into where you have to kind of learn the game again and learn where the income stream and where the revenue is coming from. Because it's a different game.
It is.
And some people are making a lot of money and some people aren't making any.
That's true.
I'm very curious to know, what is your top 5? It may change, it may, but I would love to know your top 5.
Okay. All right, here we go. You seen the movie Top 5, right? You saw the movie Top 5?
Yes, I did. I did. I did.
I saw it so many times because when Chris was doing that movie, I went to he screened it for a few people early on. And I remember him telling me, what do you think? I mean, basically it's you.
Oh, okay. Rosario Dawson's character. I love it.
Yeah, like he knows I'm in hip hop, the journalist, and all of that. But Right, and then I always thought, like, wow, whenever people have asked me about my top five, I never put a female in there. So I felt the way about that. Like, the
Oh.
next time I have to put a female. But I still haven't really come up with who I want to put in there. So I'm going to hold one of those slots for a female with.
Okay.
Slick Rick has always been in my top five.
True.
I think he
Okay.
did that in the movie, which I thought was funny too. Biggie.
Okay.
Okay.
Who am I putting there today? I don't want to. See, I want to say. Sometimes I say Jay Z. Sometimes I don't say Jay Z.
Is this a Jay-Z? Is this a Jay-Z night?
I'm like today is Jay Z day. Like Biggie.
Okay.
Slick Rick. Rakim. Who else? And I want to put a female in there. Who could I put in there? Because y'all not gonna help me.
There's a lot.
I'm like
Oh, you got Rod Digger.
Lauren Hill, Queen
I
Latifah.
kind of like, you know what, I should say, like, you know, I should be like, oh, MC Light, Queen Latifah.
MC Light.
Like Nicki Minaj.
No.
So you putting Nicki Minaj in your top five, Kim?
I do like Nicki Minaj. I don't know if she's top five MC. It depends. So you got to ask me the right question. Who's your favorite top five MC? Who's your favorite top five artist? Who's your favorite top five? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Absolutely. Oh, so should I rephrase it now? Can I rephrase it? Do I have time to rephrase
So you got
it?
subtitles.
yeah.
Okay. So who are your top five MCs of all time?
Oh, okay. So then there would be KRS-One. You know, I changed it.
I see.
KRS-One, Slick Rick, Rakim, Biggie, and MC Hammer. Not this one.
Oh no! Oh, come on! I was about to say, come on now, Kim. We know we look up to you. What's going on? No.
Oh
Well,
my God! You know what? I
let's
feel
not
bad.
front on him or he had hits.
Use that as a like joke. Let me not do that.
No.
Wow, who's my fifth? I used to love Redman.
Whoop! There you go.
Okay, calm down. Okay, calm down. You got my co-host so excited. He just blew my eardrum out.
Let me say that. He'd be like,
No, because we was thinking mentally.
Is that
was like muddy waters. I was sending it telepathically to you like muddy waters. You know
Here
what
we
I'm
go.
saying?
Okay,
Redman,
got.
you know what I used to say? Redman was the original Eminem.
You heard?
Wow. Very interesting
Remember?
statement.
Yeah,
Very
because
interesting
he was
statement.
very cosmic. His lyrics was like out there. He was very different, and I think he had one of the dopest source covers too, with his face blowing the smoke out with the crazy wild hair. He was and he had the naughty era. He had the naughty era, man. You know what I'm saying? He had his
Okay.
own little swag. You know?
Redman has earned a top five in Kim Osario's spots. Okay, that's dope.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to let him know. Like that's
The
it.
next time you ask me, I'm gonna be like, but you said MC. You said MC.
MCs. I did in fact say
sure.
MCs.
Yeah.
Very wow. See, that's so true. If you want to break, because when we ask the question, people are like, yeah, you know, da da da. But when you speak to a journalist, like, okay, well, what do you really want to know? So we broke it down for MC. No, that was a.
If you ask me artist, then I'll say Nicki is in that top five because I love her as an artist.
Oh, I do understand that because as an artist, she does put on a really good show. Like you can
Right.
listen to her
And then I would
album.
say Jay-Z, right? Because he's an art, you know, like there's more, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
If you ask me for my top five lyricists, then we're going to have a whole different conversation. We'd be like, Nas, Common, Mos Def.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to hear the playback on this because I'm taking all these questions. I'm like, so we have to
Cannabis.
break these down.
Categories.
Cannabis.
Categories.
And of course, you know the different categories because you wrote about it.
Yeah.
You lived it. Like you know, like these people were vying for your attention. Like Kim, let me talk to you real quick. Can I get a story? Can I get a cover? I can only imagine what that was like for you.
Yeah, we used to really, really take all of that very seriously. Like when it came to categorizing rap artists and putting people in the right. Like I remember we did a greatest MC issue or story, and it was Biggie, but there were like 10 categories. It was all done like it was so well thought out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
From everything to wordplay, to flow, to lyricism, to there were so many different categories, and everybody was rating on a scale of 1 to 10, and we averaged it out. Like we really took it seriously back then.
It was
That's true.
serious though. It was serious for the generation that was buying the source. It was the hip hop Bible for us because there was no other place that we could get that information at that time. So it's appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah.
For providing us with all the good material. And I'm just curious to know what's next for you. I mean, wait,
Well, yeah, I've been really busy doing a lot of writing, as I said before, for television. And so my goal is to get into scripted. I work on a lot of different shows that are reality based, but I do docu-soaps. But I want to venture into the scripted realm. So that's where I'm headed. I have a
Nice.
project right now that I've been working on for a while, and we have some things in development. So I'm excited about that. Like I want to see myself get into scripted because I really enjoy what I do. I write a lot of specials, so I do a lot of the shows that are like like the reunion special I talked about before, and right now I got to get off the phone and do Prince because
Oh gosh, I can't even believe that. Oh my gosh.
today, and so I get the phone call that we need to write a show about Prince. And,
Oh wow. Of course,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. to
I
a
do a
legend.
lot about writing,
R.I.P. the
but I
Purple
really
God.
want to do episodic for scripted series. I'm currently on an episodic right now, but again, for a reality show for a week. But I wanna go that scripted route.
Well, definitely looking forward to seeing your name in the credits
The
of
original
scripted.
Well, I have a question for you. We have
Sure.
we sat here and we learned a lot about your career.
I knew about it.
And I'm pretty sure.
No, I knew.
I'm pretty sure you have a lot of people like stalking you in your DMs, and they probably want to know: are you single?
No, sorry.
Do you know that I just learned how to get into DM?
You just,
It go down in the deal. It go down in the deal.
Because I didn't realize that there's a little tab. If you don't follow someone back, that they go to that DM. So I had the little message box.
Yeah.
But there was like this other box, and I was like, what's this box? And I clicked on it, and then I was like,
A million messages. Kim, check my record out.
Yeah,
Click my
and I
link.
had people coming on to me. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, this is the DM.
So you
Oh,
was
so
like,
it does go down in the
Oh,
DM.
this was Yo Gotti was talking about. Okay. I got you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were there.
I always
crazy.
like
You
to.
asked me if I was single.
Yeah.
No.
I'm married.
She
there
married.
you go.
Look, I know.
There
I
you
follow
go.
your career. See, look. I always like to ask people this question.
See, that's the
Then no, look. See, you making me look, but I know. I knew.
They know him very well.
I knew Kim. I knew. I always. I love to ask people this question, but it doesn't even make sense to ask you this question, but I'm just going to go ask it anyway. Have you ever had a starstruck moment?
So I don't think so. Maybe I'm trying to think of like who. I think anyone who's from the era when I came up before I got in the industry, I get a little starstruck by that, right? Like so, if it's someone that I came up on and I didn't interview,
Right.
that I feel a little bit like when I was young, who was I watching?
Right.
But I've never really had, it's so funny because the Prince thing happened today, and I was talking to someone. I said, I met him before.
Oh,
They were like, you met Prince?
wow.
And I said, yes, I met him at a restaurant a long time ago. But I've never, like, when you're in the moment and you're in the same room with someone, it's sort of kind of weird. I guess I interviewed Janet Jackson. That might be something that I'm like, okay, I felt like, oh my God.
Wow, this is Janet Jackson.
Because when I was at the store, I didn't get to do stories on Janet. But I interviewed her when I worked at BET because I was at BET for 6 years after the store.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we did a lot of art came through when we did a lot of interviews for that. And I remember I'm like, oh yeah, because I've interviewed like Mariah Carey and Janet Jackson, like all of the bigger superstars, right? Or even bigger superstars. But these are people who were out when I was young.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
was a music fan before I got into the industry. So I think if I'm starstruck, it's those Mariah.
Right, or Janet Jackson. Yeah, that's true. That's huge.
Yeah, that is big. That is big.
So your very last question. What is your favorite moment of hip hop, period, that resonates with you?
My favorite hip hop moment?
Mm-hmm.
What a tough one again. You can't ask me favorite questions.
I'll say, I feel like you're the best person to ask because you're in the trenches or still are in the trenches, so you know.
I know. That's such a hard question. There's so many big moments in hip hop.
Very true.
I love for me as a fan watching, watching all this hip hop on Video Music Box. Like I'm so old school, so
Ralph McDaniels.
I'm like,
Red
oh
alert.
My God, when it was self-destruction, people don't even know what that is now.
Crazy Sam.
Self-destruction.
Social media, half the kids that are out there tweeting, they would be like, "What is that? What's self-destruction?" That was
Oh
like
my
a
God.
Oh my God.
moment
Right.
for me.
Or the whole Stop the Violence movement.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. There are so many amazing moments,
Yeah.
and hopefully we'll get to ask you these questions again sometime. Part two.
Part two, we're gonna ask you if you listen to mixtapes.
No, we're not gonna ask it. Oh my gosh.
On part 2, y'all gonna hit me with all the favorite questions.
That were all the favorite questions, so we can hear the changes.
First, hockey records. Scenario.
What was the first record you ever bought?
Scenario.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for calling in today, Kim. We really,
Yes.
really appreciate you
This
coming
was a
in
blessing.
and dropping the knowledge. And I've been preparing for this because, like I said, I'm just a huge fan of yours. So it's like this is my starstruck moment.
Kimmy misses. Kim, she was in here doing push-ups and everything.
No, I wasn't. Please don't listen to him. But we
I'm sorry I couldn't be there in person.
no, it's fine.
It's all
listen,
good.
it's we have you on the phone.
Spiritually.
And we appreciate that. So thank you so much. And our producer wants to make sure that you're following us on Bar Talk Radio on Instagram.
Wow, thank you guys.
Thank you so much. Can we appreciate you calling in? Thank you so much.
Blessing.
Okay, all right, guys.
Take care.
Talk to you later.
Thank
right.
you. All right, bye.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Talk to you later. Thank you so
No,
wow.
she gonna call us back.
That was wow.
She's gonna call
That
us
was
back.
awesome. Claps.
Hold it
Claps.
down.
First of all,
Hold it down.
I had my starstruck moment today. Doesn't matter if it was over the phone.
Nah,
If
she
you
was doing
read the
push-ups for real.
source-
She's doing push-ups for real. Though.
If you read the source, I wasn't doing push-ups. Shut up. I was doing mental push-ups. Yes, I was doing mental push-ups. If you grew up, of course, in '90s. I'm not a '90s baby, but I grew up in '90s hip hop in the early 2000s when shit popped off and reading the source and reading Double XL. It's
if
just.
you are a true hip-hop head,
If you are a true
know what
hip hop
the
head, then
source
you
is.
should know exactly who
What
this
the source
person
is.
is,
You know what I'm
and to know that she was a part of that. Like she was at the helm.
She was
She was at the
She seen it come
helm
up.
and wrote a book about it. So once again, thank you again to Kim Osorio for calling us in, and she just followed us on Bar Talk Radio.
Hold it down.
Hold it down. Okay, now we're cool.
Kim,
now
you
we're
are
officially cool.
officially at the Bino.
You at the Bina. So this is it for Bar Talk Radio. We will catch you guys next week. Same bar time. Shout out to Sweet Bitch Wines,
Sweet
keeping
bitches.
us bitchy. No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, shout out to
these
Sweet Bitch
ones.
Wines. Shout out to Gifted Apparel NYC.
Yo, Larry,
shout
where
out
you
to
at,
Larry.
Larry?
You missed out, Larry. You
Larry, you
missed
wasn't
out.
here.
You didn't even get to ask the cereal question
Larry
tonight.
had to
We
hold
could have
it
been
down for you.
foul. We could have been foul, but we'll say that for part 2 because
You know what I'm saying?
we gonna try to do this
We're
again.
gonna
I don't
hold
know
it
why I'm
down.
pointing at the camera. Ain't no camera. Ain't no fucking camera. All right, y'all. This is Bar Talk Radio. Make sure you catch us next week. Special thank you to Kim Osorio for calling in today.
This was dope.
This was amazingly dope. Special shout out to Sweet Bitch Wines for keeping us
Yes.
Twizzy.
Yes.
And shout out to hip hop. Because if
Shout
it
out to
wasn't for hip
hip-hop.
hop, we wouldn't be doing this show.
Nah.
For real.
This
real.
would be Bar Talk rock version or something like that.
Bar Talk Bar Rocks.
Bar rocks, yeah.
Rock
we
bars.
Talk about Aerosmith.
Aerosmith. Oh, that's right. They got rock docs and
You know what I'm
shit.
saying?
No, sir, this is serious. Anyway, we can yammer all night. Thank you so much for coming out. God bless. Good night. Bar Talk Radio, y'all.
We at the bit now.